I swear to God, I was on the verge of going early for the first time ever on a stream. And literally, I moved my computer over to my other desk where I do my streaming and immediately got some like virus note, like pop ups, it's been years since I've really had issues with anything like that. Suddenly, I'm getting these pop ups on my screen. I had to restart my computer, had to turn off pop up notifications. Not sure what happened there, but we are live now, ready for hot best ball summer. I think that I have solved the issue. I don't see any more issues going on my computer. So I am ready to go. I am pumped. I'm excited for hot best ball summer. I don't see that I have any viewers currently. So I am going to make sure that I'm actually live on YouTube. So give me a moment now. If you are live, please comment. Let me know. Let me know that you can see me. Hopefully I am on my channel. Okay. I think that I see myself. I see myself on my channel. So good to go. We are ready to go. Hot best ball summer has arrived. Thank you, Jim, for confirming. Appreciate you. I'm going to jump in a draft here, like almost immediately. So hopefully you guys are ready to jump into a draft with me. I'll give you like a 5-second warning, but just to give you an idea of what I have going on for the summer. As I announced on Twitter, I plan to stream all 150 of my drafts. Not sure exactly everything else that I'm going to be doing on this channel. But I know that I'm going to be doing a lot of deep dives into fantasy points data. Wanted to let you guys know right away that you can get 15% off any fantasy points package using promo code flannel when you sign up. You'll get 15% off. The data suite, of course, is what I am generally going to be diving into. I'm a huge fan of the data suite because it is a little bit different than any data that you get anywhere else, and I tend to think that it is better. So I generally like when data is a little bit different than what everybody else is using in general. Just I think it can give you a little bit of an edge, but obviously, particularly if it is good data. And I like the fantasy points data. I think that the way they do their analysis is a little bit different than other places. They have in-house trackers. So they have Brett Whitefield, and he has a whole team of people that are tracking every NFL game, looking at all the data, watching every play, and they have like a different definition of what counts as a target. So for example, other places, maybe a throwaway. Official NFL data, quarterback throws the ball out of bounds intentionally, the NFL will credit a target to one of the receivers. Fantasy points won't, for example. Or like if a running back jukes a defender that is a few yards away, fantasy points is going to maybe count that as a avoided tackle more often than other plays. So I think it is really cool. It's a different way of doing data. I am excited to dig in there, but that's not what we're doing in this stream. In this stream, just straight up going to be doing a draft here. And that did not, let's see. There we go. That's what I want. That's what I want it to look like. We are going to jump into my first Best Ball Mania 5 stream of the year. Hopefully you like the overlay that I've set up here. Did this myself. I don't know. Are these colors? Let me know what you think of the colors. Let me know what you think of the branding, because yeah, I did all of this myself mostly today. So it's all kind of a work in progress. Yeah, you're correct. 888 boomer versus computer. That is fair. It's probably me being a boomer. But you got to be a boomer to be the oldest person to ever stream 150 Best Ball Mania drafts. All right. Thank you, Jim, for confirming. Bird, appreciate you. And yes, I think that all of the computer issues are fixed. The beer issues, I've got my left hand milk stout nitro I'll be drinking during the stream. So that issue is resolved also. I'm just going to jump into a draft here. If you guys want to join, I will be here. I'm going to click in Best Ball Mania. 3, 2, 1. First draft of the season for me. It looks like it's about ready to fill already. So hopefully you guys are getting in. I'll probably still do two, even with the late start. I am sweating my ass off, probably just because I was so frustrated trying to figure out what was going on with my stream. Let's see what we got here. All right, I got the third overall pick. I will take that. Loved the first three picks. Obviously, I'm always happy to get my guy Jay Jets a little bit later on also, but I feel like McCaffrey, CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, all really strong. And I generally, I'm wary of running backs in general, like high volume running backs like Christian McCaffrey. scare me a little bit. So I'm gonna take Christian McCaffrey pretty frequently, just because you don't want to be fading Christian McCaffrey. He clearly has the highest upside of anybody, but I also don't hate when I miss out on McCaffrey and have to take a quarterback early, or sorry, a wide receiver early. Bo Nix in the third. I'm actually really high on Bo Nix. I'm not going to be taking him in the third round, but I'm actually very high on Bo Nix this year. I kind of hope that he doesn't work out, because I was annoyed by the Sean Payton like victory lapping that he like he says he tricked the Vikings, or he was kind of implying that he tricked the Vikings into trading up to get JJ McCarthy, which really annoys me. So I'm kind of hoping that Bo Nix, you know, I don't want to cheer against him, but I do like cheering against Sean Payton. All right, Jamar Chase is our guy. As I said, really happy to get Jamar Chase anywhere I can. Still got Joe Burrow throwing him. I think last year was like a little bit of a fluky year, because Jamar Chase was injured for part of the season. Joe Burrow was injured for part of the season. It was just never really came together for the Bengals. I still think that they are just a really good offense. I think that they are set up for success. Jamar Chase, great receiver. Joe Burrow, great quarterback. It just feels safe, and you want some safety in the first round. Um, I do not have any idea when DraftKings is planning on releasing their best ball product. Um, yeah, maybe I'll ask somebody. I know somebody who might know at DraftKings, so I can ask him. But as of now, I have not heard anything about DraftKings. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to do DraftKings drafts too. I've been saying I've been telling people I don't really know what my content plan is, other than 150 Best Ball Mania drafts, because I think that this is quite an undertaking to do 150 Best Ball Mania drafts. So hopefully I'll be able, to stream some DraftKings, some drafters, maybe do some eliminators, some weekly winners, all that kind of stuff. But for now, just planning on doing Best Ball Mania, Best Ball whenever, 150 times. This is a very good point. 888. Yeah, I mean, he has had some. I mean, what was Russell Wilson last year? I guess there's that question. I think he had some usable weeks. Did not have a great season from a fantasy standpoint, but he did have some reasonable weeks in there. I suppose I should tweet out that I'm live now. Forgot I had to reset everything, so I'm like signed out of all my stuff. But I will go find my Twitter, tweet this stuff out. How long do I got here? I guess I can pull this up. Oh, I got plenty of time. Plenty of time. All right. Gonna go tweet this out. No, I do not want to open the Stochastic MLB account. Is the first one that comes up. Didn't even know. Don't remember the last time I signed into the Stochastic MLB account. Oh God! And after doing some resets, all of my stuff is in light mode, whatever you call it, and it is throwing me off. I don't know how that happened. All right. Well, I guess I'm still having some issues here, because I am not signed into all my stuff, and I'm used to just being signed into everything all the time. I guess I'm on my phone. I can do it. Oh, here we go. All right, coming back to me. So to be honest, this morning I was thinking I was going to skip out on the first day. I was like, there are enough people doing content. I'm super tired today. I just did not sleep well. Haven't slept well the past couple nights. I guess too excited for Best Ball Mania. So I was thinking I'll just skip it. And then today came, and I just had too much FOMO. And I've been wanting to do the 150 drafts. So you kind of get started early too. Tomorrow night, no Wolves, because I don't know if you saw, but they swept the Suns. I was thinking that was going to be tough for me. I do still have softball tomorrow. I thought I was going to have to juggle the softball and the Wolves game. Turns out, don't have to juggle anything, because the Wolves just swept. So no games until either Saturday or Monday. So that's exciting. But I might do a draft. I might do another stream tomorrow afternoon to keep this going. I'm not going to be around tomorrow night again, because I have softball. All right, let's see here. Oh, just a bunch of wide receivers here. Oh, we are up. All right, who do I like here? Let's see if I sort by ADP. Nope. I saw that Devontae Adams might be like the Steelers might be looking at him. I don't love that. I'm going to do it anyway, though. I think actually, I don't know. Do I prefer him to stay in Las Vegas over Pittsburgh? I guess that's not really a foregone conclusion that that is the case. Not the most exciting pick, but I do think he is still talented. I don't hate that idea of waiting until the schedule drop 888. All right, let's see. What do we got here? Neighbors goes in the second round. That's interesting. I thought he would be falling now that he's on the Giants. I still like him on the Giants. I think he's the pretty clear wide receiver one there. So I don't hate the pick. I actually kind of sort of thought about it, but earlier than I kind of thought in general he's going to be falling. All right, DJ Moore. I don't love the DJ Moore pick. Stefan Diggs. This is just kind of an ugly place to be drafting, I think. I wonder if I'm going to start at some point. I guess we'll find out at some point. Maybe I start doing the Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith at the turn thing. Did it a lot last year. Didn't really work out, but I still think the talent is there. Maybe some O-line concerns, but I think it's viable. All right, we've got a little time until I'm up again. Yeah, DK, I agree with you, Archie. Yeah, that's something I need to kind of like think about because I've already done like 200 best ball drafts, and of course, they all have 20 rounds. The ones that I've done so far. So like, I need to like reset my mentality now for 18 rounds. It's also been like a couple weeks since I've really been doing a lot of NFL best ball. I've been doing like daily MLB drafts, a lot of pick six on DraftKings, that kind of stuff. So I honestly, I've done a ton of drafting already, but it's actually been a little while, and now a lot has changed. So honestly, this is probably not going to be my best draft. I just know that. I'm also, as I said, I'm going to be digging into a lot more data throughout the summer. Right now, largely going on instinct. I mean, I consume a ton of content. I guess I've done some data analysis already, but I imagine my like ideas on players are going to be better as time goes on. Also just going to get the hang of it. Like right now, the whole landscape has just been kind of flipped on its head, to borrow from Pete Overzet, because all these rookies now have landing spots. So the rookies that I liked before, unfortunately not all the rookies that I like now. The draft did not go well for me. I did not get the landing spots that I wanted for the rookies that I've been drafting. Oh, Paul says that they dropped it today last year. So hopefully that is correct, or hopefully they do the same thing this year, I should say. Yeah, 888. I agree. Not dropping. I think I'm not doing any of the eliminator until the schedule drops, because I think you really need to know the bye weeks for the eliminator. I get it. Like we're all on the same page if we do it now, but you also after week one, I guess everything gets reloaded. So I think there's for the eliminator in particular, you really want to wait for the schedule to drop so you don't end up with like all of your running backs having the same bye week. But even this, I'm a bye week bro, so I would like to know the schedule already, but and obviously week 17, you got to know that week 17, week 16 also very important with the flat state payout structure this year. Yeah, it would be good to know for sure. Oh, interesting. Paul says 2 years ago they waited for the schedule to release. Yeah, maybe they're doing that. Jalen Waddle, very high on him. I've drafted a ton of Jalen Waddle this year. Also, Kelsey goes. And these ranks, I didn't like do my own custom rankings other than I downloaded the ETR rankings. I was gonna do kind of a aggregate of ETR and legendary upside, and couldn't get the legendary upside to work today for some reason. I've been using them all year, so I don't know what's going on there, but I'm sure I'm sure it was an issue on my end. I might at some point actually try to do my own projections and do my own rankings based on projections. But today I downloaded ETR. I did make a lot of changes to ETR just based on kind of my feelings about players, which maybe is a mistake, but you've got ADP here. You can, use your own rankings to some extent too. I think it's a good place to start, just having some kind of rankings, and I can go against them where I want to. But they're pretty sharp there at ETR, so I think it's a better place to start than ADP, and having access to both is definitely ideal. All right, coming up on my pick. All right, so PH Smith has Hurts with Saquon and AJ Brown doing a nice little early stack. Where did Devontae go? Hmm. I wonder if he was trying to do the full on all Philadelphia all the time early on. I've done that a couple times, or at least I've tried to. I think I generally have gotten sniped when I do that. Christian Kirk, what do we think with Brian Thomas there? Like, is this too aggressive? I've drafted a ton of Christian Kirk also. Interesting. I have not drafted a ton of Keenan Allen since the trade. I guess I already have DJ Moore. Maybe I lean into the Chicago stack. I'm probably not going to do this a lot, but I think I might just do it here. ADP of 41. He falls to me. Continue the stack here. It's kind of fun. Probably not going to work out, but it's kind of fun, right? All right, we got 4 picks until I go again. Yeah, Jim, I think it makes sense to go back to Devontae again. Doesn't feel like it's not a sexy pick, but if he puts up the fantasy points, it'll feel sexy during the season. Brian Thomas sucks. Interesting. All right, I'll got to make my pick. Then I'll check in again. There's a part of me that wants to go Odunzi here, just continue the full-on Chicago onslaught. But I imagine that these guys are going to fall more. So then it'll be like, I don't think that it's something that I need to be forcing right now, because I think that it's, if you want to do it, you're going to be able to do it later on. So I think now maybe I go, ooh, it's 5th round. Now I'm just going to grab Mark Andrews here. Yeah, I think Mark Andrews is a great pick. Early 5th round. I've just been hammering that all since February, the 150, 200 drafts that I've done already. Could have gone Pacheco there. Avoided any issues with the draft. They didn't draft a great running back who's going to be competition there. Um, all right, let me respond to some things. Oh, I'll throw up the. I always forget. People like to see the grid view. I never do that when I'm drafted on my own. It is probably a good idea. Um, yeah, me too. Troy Franklin. That is brutal. I could not believe he fell so much. 888 also says Christian Kirk will be wide receiver 1 because Brian Thomas sucks. He's an interesting. He's different than their other receivers. I'm kind of excited to see how that goes. I don't watch college football. Don't have any strong takes other than what I've heard other people say on college players. I've consumed a lot of content on college football players, but I don't have my own separate takes. Paul, thank you for the reminder. I never remember to ask. Please do like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already done so. I'm going to be doing a lot of drafts here. Really excited to be drafting all summer. We're getting heavy into the content now, so yeah, please do like the video, subscribe to the channel. Ollie, I think I'm a heavy stacker, so like I know Bime4 is not big on like huge stacks. I like if I can stack my quarterback with 3 pass catchers or 3, including a running back. I think that is like ideal for me in most scenarios. I'll do 4 sometimes. I honestly there's no like there is an upper limit. I shouldn't say there's no upper limit, but probably 3 is ideal, 4 is good. 2 with some core, like if I have Jalen Hurts with 2 of his pass catchers, I'm pretty happy with that. I think that works out well. But oftentimes I think I like to do 3, even sometimes 4. Yeah, I imagine Odunzi is going to be falling more and more now that he's in Chicago. Like he's pretty clearly the wide receiver 3. I still think there's upside there. Just Keenan Allen pretty old at this point. I don't know. I think there's some injury concern there, and even without an injury, he can have his spike weeks. So I don't hate Odunzi if he falls a little bit more. I don't. Actually glad. I think I didn't have a ton of Odunze. I think I'm mispronouncing his name every time. I didn't have a ton of him in my other drafts, so that is one thing that didn't go horribly for me. But I'll be happy to take him if he does fall a little bit more. Consigliere, that is a spicy take. Yeah, I have been very much in on Christian Kirk. I certainly could have taken him with one of those last picks. Um, I think Trevor Lawrence still does have room to grow. Like I'm not writing him off as a potentially great fantasy quarterback. I think he ran in college. He hasn't run as much in the pros. I think he still has that upside though. So I'd be happy to be overweight to the field on the Jags in general. We saw Evan Ingram targeted a million times last year. Christian Kirk is a little bit, go and drafted a little bit later than he should. I like Brian Thomas as like his own unique receiver, big bodied receiver. Again, from what I hear, don't actually watch college football, but I think it's an exciting offense. I'm in on the Jags offense again. Glad to hear that, Ollie. I'm the same way. So I have a treadmill at home. It's the only place I really work out. But I always listen to best ball content when I am on the treadmill. Listen to a ton of legendary upside overs at Splash Play, all that Spike Week. I'm in on all of the different stuff. So I'm very much listening to best ball content when I'm on the treadmill, when I'm doing dishes. That's kind of when I like to multitask with my best ball content. All right. What do we like here? Godwin just it's can't do it. I don't think I can do it here. You can do it, Legal Hawk. I mean, I get it. Like Godwin, Hopkins, these are probably the right picks here. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Xavier Worthy. This is way ahead of ADP. Maybe I don't need to here. Of course, people are watching the stream. Somebody who's watching the stream might take him if I don't. Nah, screw it. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Ramondre. Think he's in a good spot. I think he's gonna have a bounce back year. New offense, new look offense. I think it's gonna be great spot for Ramondre this year. We'll see. Don't have any. Oh, I could take a Burrow here too. Okay, he goes. Nicky goes. Nicky goes. Xavier Worthy. That's a good pick. I think he's just rising. I think this is still a little bit early. Like I think until he actually gets up here in ADP, I think it's okay to let him go a little bit. All right, I've got Jamar Chase. I think I just go with Burrow here. Start my. Yeah, I like it. And now I'm trying. Was it Jermaine Burton? I think it was Jermaine Burton that they drafted. Yeah. Um. All right, hang on. I didn't even. Okay, hang on one sec. I'm gonna throw this up here. See who's picking. I did not remember clicking on this. I think I meant to click Ali's message. Yeah, and I accidentally clicked Archie instead. Archie, will Allen stay healthy? Yeah, I don't know. I hopefully for the sake of this draft, I think I'm underweight to the field overall on Keenan Allen. He is on my keeper league team, so I'm cheering for him. I'm not that confident though. Yeah, Christian Kirk looks great. Um, Oh, that is a hot take. Cole Kmet outscoring Odunze would be something. Yeah, agree. Consigliere, I thought he was going to fall to me, but yeah, he's definitely rising. Like maybe I should have taken him just because it's going to be tougher to take him later on. I thought I'd be able to push him one round, but would have made sense to take him there because I could have pushed Burrow anyway. Was kind of the player I wanted. Um, yeah, I would not be surprised if Worthy ends up being a fifth round pick by next week. That is. Oh, Bindles, appreciate you, man. Um, Full overs that are what about you, Bindles? Are you also joining me? By the way, thank you for the super chat, Bindles. I know that you just did a draft, I think tonight. Was that tonight? Was it earlier today? Um, are you also going to be streaming all 150 or are you saving some for yourself? I could have gone Najee. Yeah, I know. 888. Let me see where we are. All right, we got some time. A re-breakout. That is right. This is my IRL friend Ian. Good to see you, Ian. Hopefully, see you at a couple Timberwolves games next week. All the old heads from work. Nice. Year over year, Ollie. If you're 24, how many years is that? 2 years? Some old heads know what they're doing too, by the way. Some of them are even drafting 150 drafts this year. Hopefully, as long as I don't accidentally enter. That is honestly my biggest path to failure here of drafting the 150 is just I some night I'm just like on my phone and I just enter a draft absent-mindedly because I do this all the damn time. I'm always drafting. I'm just like, oh yeah, I'll do a best ball mania, and then remember, 2 seconds after I enter it, shit, I was supposed to stream all 150. That is Pete Overzet's best path to remaining the oldest person to ever stream. And I think so far the only person to ever stream all 150 of their drafts is if I just absentmindedly click into a best ball mania one of these nights. Appreciate you, Ollie. Did not know that about Burton. Huh. That's unfortunate. My thoughts on, hang on, let me get back to the draft. Zero RB this year. It's gonna look good. Looks good, just about every year. I think it still makes a lot of sense this year, particularly because the draft rooms are kind of forcing you that direction. Like the receivers all go super early. All right, somebody wanted me to take Najee the last time. I can still take Najee here. I feel pretty good about Najee at pick 94. That's kind of nuts. So I'm going Najee here. There you go. Felix, got your guy. I saw Felix in his first draft took Najee at like pick 74 or something like that. The least surprising thing that I have seen on Twitter today. Happy to get Najee there. Gus Edwards, I've been like pounding the table. Is that the phrase? Again, I'm very tired. I'm kind of spacey right now. Pounding the table, I think is the phrase I'm looking for Gus Edwards. And actually, I don't have that much. I think I have maybe 13%. So I guess I am overweight to the field on Gus Edwards, but I'm not as high as I wanted to be on Gus Edwards. He kind of rose up quicker than I thought he would after landing in San Diego. No, Los Angeles Chargers. I'm still getting used to that. All right, well, got an idea where I'm going here. Can you guys predict where I'm going here? Yeah. Got to go Caleb. I've got my 2 Chicago receivers. Now I've completed both my quarterback stacks. In an 18-round draft, I think I'm just going 2 quarterbacks here. So Burrow, Caleb are my quarterbacks. I think I'm happy with that. Those are, spent two top 100 picks on quarterbacks. Kind of got to stick with those 2. You don't need any more quarterbacks there. So I feel good about it. I feel like this is shaping up to be an okay draft. Again, I'll probably look at this in September and say, what the hell were you thinking? But right now, I feel good about this draft. Yeah, thoughts on zero RB? Yeah, I think zero RB is generally a good strategy. Not opposed to doing hero RB or trying different things. I'll probably do a lot of zero RB, but I mix up my strategies quite a bit. I'm not sticking to one strategy. Usually let the draft room dictate what I do. All right, Bindles. Well, I know you'll do plenty of drafts for us on the stream. Looking forward to that. All right, Ollie, you've been crushing the old heads for 3 years now. Nice job. Good to hear. Good to hear. Yeah, that is true. That's Pete Overzet. Props for holding the DGen record as of now, but I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. I do very much identify as a zero RB bro. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. I do a lot of zero RB, but I'm not like the zero RB all the time guy. So there are definitely like bigger zero RB bros than me, but I'd say I lightly identify as a zero RB bro because I do think it is a great strategy in general. Like love it for the 20-round draft. So I did a ton of it. I've been doing a ton of it all winter. But even 18 round, I think it makes a good amount of sense. Yeah. I'm a big wide receiver guy, as you can probably tell. Although I only have 4, so maybe not. Yeah, Archie could tell. He knew what I was doing. How do you define zero RB? That's a good question. So that's I would say in general, zero RB would be no running backs in like the first 5 rounds a lot of the time. I don't know. How does Spike Week define it? I know they have like a definition on the site, I'm pretty sure. I'd be curious to see how they define it. I don't know specifically what the parameters are, but I think like no top 5, top 6 rounds, something like that. No running backs. That's how I think of it. Um, in these 18 round drafts, I would say I do a lot of 2 quarterback, 2 tight end. Kind of depends on, again, I let the room kind of dictate what I do, but I would say in general, I do a lot of 2 quarterback, 2 tight end, and then like 6 running back, 8 receiver kind of drafts. Sometimes 5 running back, 9 receiver if I do go hero RB. Um, but I also think, you can do 2, 5, 7, 3. Does that make sense? 2, 5. No, that doesn't make sense. 2, 5 would be 7 plus 7 is 14, 4. 2, 5, 8, 3, I think is a, construction I do a fair amount. If I wait on quarterback, I'll go 3 quarterback good amount of the time. I have some concerns about JJ McCarthy for best ball. Like, I'm super pumped about the Vikings getting JJ McCarthy. I have some concerns that he's not going to start right away. I wish, that's one of those things that once we get more of an indication, um, what's going on with the Vikings, I will be a lot more willing to draft JJ McCarthy, but it wouldn't be that shocking to me if they're starting Sam Darnold to start the year and like go in with the plan of just starting him all year, and like JJ McCarthy learns under Sam Darnold for a year, that kind of thing. So like I think I'm maybe more confident in Bo Nix than JJ McCarthy as like the start of the year. Like I'm not sure that I would take the bet that JJ McCarthy starts more games than Bo Nix this year, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But I think JJ McCarthy is going much higher than Bo Nix, which is why I kind of like Bo Nix this year. All right. I only have 4 receivers. I did take them all pretty early. As I said, I do really like Gus Edwards, and I'm not that high on Josh Palmer. I think I'm going Gus Edwards. I wouldn't hate taking Chase Brown here either. But yeah, I think I'm going Gus Bus. Mostly because the top of my board here is Josh Palmer, and these receivers kind of all look like a tier to me. Yeah, not high on Eckler. Looking at the top of ADP. So ETR is pretty high on Josh Palmer. I did not notice this when I was looking at stuff. And I don't have a ton of Josh Palmer. I think I'm less high on Josh Palmer than they are, but consider taking him here. Rashid Shaheed. I saw some people on Twitter suggesting that he might be the winner of the draft, remaining the wide receiver 2 behind Chris Olave in New Orleans. I think that might be true. But I'll go with Josh Palmer. I'm going to trust the ETR guys here. They've treated me well when I've used their rankings in the past, so I'll do it. Since he fell so far past their ranking, and I don't have a ton of him already, sometimes I just have to, and I'm generally not a like huge stands guy. I end up with, my max exposure on a player will be like 20 something, like low 20s% is what I had last year, I think. All right, let me pull up the board here so you can look at that, and then I'll respond to some comments. Thank you guys for hanging out, by the way. This is I started half an hour later than expected. It does appear that I've solved the issue. I haven't had anything come back up, so feel good about that. But man, that was frustrating, and I really appreciate you guys bearing with me and hanging out. Ooh. I don't know if he's good. Again, don't watch college football. I'm really hopeful that he is good. I'll probably draft some because he's the Vikings quarterback. And I'm a Vikings homer, but I'll also probably like Sam Darnold might actually be really undervalued right now. Like Hadn't even thought about that, but that is another angle here is if Sam Darnold plays the whole year, it's gonna look good. But then, of course, the risk there is Sam Darnold maybe starts the year, and by the fantasy playoffs, they've handed it over to JJ McCarthy. So that is the risk with taking Sam Darnold, but like he could be a play. I don't think Sam Darnold is as bad as a lot of people think he is, for one thing. And he's just in a great setup with the Vikings, so I don't think that he would be necessarily the worst pick. I didn't even think of that chunk. I should have. See, I'm only kind of this year coming around to drafting running backs as part of my stacks. I do think it makes sense in a season long format. I think that they're better, like they're more correlated for best ball than they are for DFS, for example. So I did a little bit last year too, the correlating with my running backs. But yeah, I spaced out. Should have taken. That would have made sense for me. Taking Chase Brown with my Bengals stack, especially because I'm only single stacked at the moment. All right. Kirk falls. Is Kirk falling because of the Penix pick? That's interesting. He's been pretty all over the place. I think his ADP is like 120 something. But I guess it's not that uncommon for Kirk to fall around here. But I am curious if that people are reacting in any way to that. Man, that was a crazy pick. Yeah, the I don't know the linear spreadsheets. I think he's a smart guy. I'll let him sway me a little bit. Honestly, I am a pretty malleable brain when it comes to best ball. I do get swayed by other people's opinions in best ball. I think this year, as I do more of my own deep diving into data, I'll probably be a little bit less easy to sway. But I think it's just I don't know. I'm willing to listen to smart people in the space. As I said, I consume a lot of content, and I take advice a good amount. All right. Pearsall, I moved up in my rankings, I believe. Uh, do I want him here though? Pearsall, Wicks. I do like Dontavian Wicks. For a wide receiver four, I think the upside is pretty huge for Dontavian Wicks. I'm gonna go with Pearsall though. I think it's fun. I think he's the one who's more likely to get steamed up than Dontavian Wicks. I don't know if I'm really going to be doing the Zeke thing. Look at his ranking compared to his ADP. I don't know. I I probably should. It's probably the same exact situation as Adam Thielen last year, and I didn't do Adam Thielen last year, and I guess it didn't end up killing you because he didn't really do anything like the whole second half of the year. Um, but yeah, certainly Zeke could be that guy again. I am taking requests here. All right, I'll do the Dowdle pick. I saw the Dowdle was called for. Yeah, I agree. I think that Dowdle, like, and that's probably just a bias towards like the younger players. Like Zeke is probably going to go in there and like be the bell cow, but just feels like Dowdle has more upside to actually be like a home run pick. I don't know. Yeah, 888 said Dowdle. I'm with you. He also said you're going to take zero Zeke. I don't know if he falls like in this range. It's tough for me to pick him, but if he falls to like my next batch of picks, I would consider it. Although I just took Dowdle, so I don't know. It's I've been in the past. I haven't done a lot of handcuffing of running backs. I think I'm going to be doing a lot more of it this year than I have in the past. Just like take shots on the whole backfield because you did see it happen quite a bit where like multiple running backs last year look good in the same backfield relative to their ADP. Jim Money, good to see you. Been a minute. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I want to, as I said, I'm going to be diving into efficiency metrics a lot more this year. In the past and in this draft, I'm basically drafting off of, you know, IKB, just like I watch a lot of football. Probably think I know more than I do about a lot of these players. And then also just like situations I draft for, players that I think will have an opportunity. And then of course I'm often wrong about who I think is going to have an opportunity. My most drafted player in the like 200 or so drafts I've done so far is Kenneth Gainwell, because I thought for sure, I was like, okay, coming on toward the end of last year, it felt like he was they were using him more and more toward the end of the year. Like he was splitting carries with DeAndre Swift, like more towards the end of the year. So early on, I was drafting a lot of him in like, the 17th, 18th round, just thinking he might be the RB1. Like there's nothing saying he won't be. And then of course they go out and they get Saquon Barkley. And I thought, okay, that hurts the upside there. But then it was like he felt safer to me, because it was like, well, why the Eagles aren't going to spend any more capital on running back, right? So clearly Kenneth Gainwell is going to be the RB2 in Philadelphia. And then they just drafted I forget who, Isaiah Davis. I forget who they drafted, but they drafted a running back, and feels like I probably drafted too much Kenneth Gainwell. So, I draft based on opportunity a lot of the time, and then of course I'm sometimes very wrong on who's going to have the opportunities. So probably this year I will dive into efficiency metrics. Certainly, definitely this year I will dive into efficiency metrics a little bit more. Oh yeah, Will Shipley. That's right. Eagles went and got him. Yeah, I mean, Gainwell, yeah, he definitely could still be the RB2, and it's a good spot. If he is the RB2, I still think he's probably likely to be the RB2. I've seen some people who are really high on Shipley as a talent. I can't remember who. That was a leg up thing or somewhere else. All right, Zeke went. A lot of running backs off the board. We're coming up on my pick. Got 2 quarterbacks, 4 running backs, 6 receivers, just 1 tight end currently. Michael Mayer, that's another thing that kind of killed me. I drafted a lot of Michael Mayer already, and now it feels like that was bad. That was wrong. Who did Denver just draft at running back? They just drafted, was it Braylon Allen? No, this is Braylon. Oh, I forget what it was. All right, let me think. Who do I want here? Could go Kate Otten, Jawan Johnson, Isaiah Likely. I'm gonna push it a little bit more. Maybe I'll take I can add Jermaine Burton to my Cincinnati stack. That makes sense. I wonder if this is going to be a 3 tight end draft for me. Oh yeah, Estime. That's who I'm thinking. I get those two mixed up. Estime and Braylon Allen. Have we heard anything? Yeah. 888 saw it before I did. Have we heard anything about Tank Dell? I know they said minor injuries, but I'm like, I feel like you got to give us more information on what happened with Tank Dell. Like that's a scary situation. I think this is getting to the point where it might end up being a 3 tight end draft for me, even with Mark Andrews. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm crazy for thinking that I need to do that, but kind of think I might need to here. Hmm. Allen or McLaughlin? What do we think here? Braylon Allen, kind of the biggest back, I think, for the Jets. Could be the goal line back. No, I'm still going McLaughlin. Changed my mind at the last second. I drafted so much Jaleel McLaughlin, and I don't know. It makes me nervous that they went out and got Estime, but he was just so good last year. Like he was just his yards per carry was so good. I feel like he's still got the inside track on like a good number of carries for the Broncos. All right. Yeah, it's again, I listen to other people on particularly on the rookies. Like I mean, in general, I do too, but on the rookies, I'm very much like my only thoughts on the rookies are what have I heard from other people. And I've heard good things about Will Shipley. It's kind of mixed. Depends who you ask, obviously, but I've heard some people who are very high on him. So those are the guys that I'm the most intrigued by, are the ones that like at least somebody is like really, really in on them. And Will Shipley is one of those guys. And I say this, and I don't even remember who it was that was really, really in on him. All right, how are we looking? Jawan Johnson's one of those guys who is always at the top of the ranks. I think both leg up and ETR are really high on him, and I just never want to click the name. I don't know why. Just it's like the least sexy pick for me is the Jawan Johnson pick. I probably need to lean into it though. If everybody else really likes him, I probably need to lean into it. Interesting. Shipley was a great receiver and good in space. Not a between the tackles back. Okay. Oh, damn. I did not know that. Number one recruit coming out of high school. That's cool. Did somebody take him? I'm guessing somebody. I have no idea what the ADP is on a guy like Shipley now. Oh, yeah. ADP of 200. We're good. If I want him. As you can see here, I actually moved Kamani Vidal way up my ranks. He's another one of those guys where I have heard some people talk about him like he's really good. And again, I'm high on Gus Edwards, but the coaches have said some really good things about Kamani Vidal. If you, I don't know if you guys follow Coach Speak Index on Twitter, but he put something out today about the way the coaches are talking about Kamani Vidal. And I mean, obviously, the fact that they drafted him, he's another guy that I have heard at least somebody at one point was really high on Kamani Vidal. And to answer your question, I don't think I have any Vidal pre. I might have like one or two shares just because there was some person I listened to who was high on Kamani Vidal, but I definitely don't have a lot if I have any in my pre-draft stuff. So now I'm willing to take some. Now that he's landed on the Chargers, like not a ton of competition there. I don't think J.K. Dobbins is healthy. So I think it is a strong late round bet here. I do need two more tight ends here, I think. Maybe not. There are people who would say if you have Mark Andrews, you don't need any other tight ends, which might be true. So maybe I just need to load up on running backs and receivers. I was hoping Juwan Johnson was going to fall to me there. If Juwan Johnson had fallen, I would have stuck with just two tight ends. Do I trust these other tight ends as much? I don't know. Not going quarterback. I know that. My guy Bateman goes. I've been very high on Bateman. Kind of correlates with Mark Andrews there, so I could have taken him, but he goes. I don't hate the idea. I know Sacrilegious is kind of high on Noah Fant. It sounded like. I could see the upside case for a guy like Noah Fant. Anybody I want from no Cincinnati, Chicago. I was thinking, but I think that's a good spot there for Noah Fant. I think that's a fair spot to take a guy on Noah Fant. I think he's got at least some upside. And probably good enough that I don't need a third tight end with Mark Andrews already on the team. I think we're good. Got a couple rookies on the team. Just those two, I guess. Three with Caleb Williams. How are we feeling about three rookies on a team? I think that's a fair number. Like maybe I want four, maybe one more. But I feel pretty good about it. Pearsall, Burton, Caleb Williams. Yeah, Ink. Maybe I'll add Gesicki later. We'll think about that. Oh no, miles ahead took my guy. Ah, all right. I was very much set on taking the guy who doesn't have an ADP, and he goes. So that's rough. All right, let's see. Could take Braylon Allen here. Yeah, I'm going to do it. All right. Didn't love that. Could have taken Shipley later, I guess, or taken Shipley there. I guess that's his ADP is 200. That was pick 195. Could have gone Shipley. I don't know. I'm in shambles. I was so ready to take Kamani Vidal. I thought without the ADP he was likely to come to me, but I am streaming the draft too and was talking about how much I wanted Kamani Vidal. So probably should have known better. And I don't think he's like, I think it's a no ADP based on they haven't updated for today yet. I'm guessing he's not actually a no ADP kind of guy. That's interesting. Eric All. I actually don't hate that. I somebody was that a Derek Brown thing? Somebody today was talking about Eric All as one of their favorite rookie tight ends. He's a guy that I have not heard much about. Don't know anything about Eric All. Haven't drafted any of them. Was not a name I was familiar with before the draft. So maybe I should take one. Okay, Vidal and Sinnott go every draft. That's good to know. Makes sense. Good landing spot. Where did Sinnott end up? I know that I have some Sinnott. Oh, Washington. That's right. We sure he can beat out Cole Turner? Oh man, this is weird. Only 216 picks. I'm just so used to the 20 rounders. All right, so we got two quarterbacks. Feel strong about Burrow, Caleb Williams. Running backs, I think you would call this zero RB, maybe not, but I feel pretty good about Stevenson, Najee, Gus Edwards, Rico Dowdle. I feel like I have a lot of pretty mid running backs, but enough of them. I think I've got, you know, 4, 5 guys who I feel pretty confident are going to get some work. Braylon Allen, it's really, really hard to know how New York is going to use Braylon Allen, but at least these 5, I think it's going to be some floor at least. I don't know that there's like the massive spike week potential, but Gus could score some touchdowns. Again, I think Ramondre Stevenson could be a comeback candidate. Najee certainly could be utilized quite a bit this year. So I think I feel okay about it. And then wide receiver, feel really good about my first two, Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams. We made the bet on the Bears offense. DJ Allen, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen could be great. Josh Palmer, maybe he's the wide receiver one. Who knows? Could still be. Pearsall, I think one of Ayuk or Debo gets traded. Pearsall is going to look pretty good there. I think he's got talent. He's a guy that I know the fantasy points guys all love. Burton, adding him to my Cincinnati stack. And then we got Mark Andrews. So we're pretty good at tight end, even if you do believe that Noah Fant is Noah Can't. I think it's still, we're good. So I think I'm in a good spot where we can draft for the stack, draft for the talent, whatever. Tanner Hudson, a guy that I drafted some of in the pre-draft stuff. That's not looking great. All right, Gasicki went. Could still throw all onto this stack. Hope for the best. Don't really need him. Not relying on him with Mark Andrews on the team. I also took a lot of Yoshevitz in the pre-draft stuff and don't feel great about that with Jermaine Burton landing there. I don't think so, but maybe. I mean, certainly. What do I know? I'm not there, but I guess I'm just buying into the same narrative that everybody else is with. Andy Reid brought him in and then re-signed Clyde Edwards. I'm buying into it. It's kind of a funny reason to just assume that he is toast at this point, but I don't know. He's also just been injured so much. Could happen. I guess it would not be the most shocking thing in the world, but it'd be kind of surprising to me. Javon Baker. Got a lot of Javon Baker. Speaking of all the rookies that did not go the way I wanted them to, Javon Baker was one of those guys that I drafted a lot of in pre-draft stuff, and he ends up in New England. Not my favorite landing spot. I'm just going to do it with Eric All. All right, so we got the final team here. I just read them all, so I'm not going to read them all again. But I think it's a decent team, not like my favorite team in the world. I feel like I should have taken Chase Brown where I took Gus Edwards. Probably that would have made sense for the stack. Wish that Kamani Vidal had fallen to me. There we go. Number 1 in the books. First Best Ball Mania team. I am going to jump into a second draft tonight. I think probably just 2 tonight. That's all it's going to be. But here's the end. Any other teams that you guys that jumped out to you guys that you want me to look at, or that are your own? Yeah, 888. I had a lot of J.K. Dobbins last year. That was one of my downfalls in Best Ball Mania 4. Draft a lot of J.K. Dobbins. Looked good early on, felt really good about it, and then out for the year. So that was kind of rough. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Doesn't have Bo Nix. I like Bo Nix. I do feel good about my quarterback situation. Yeah, I really like what Miles Ahead just did with Theo Johnson, assuming Waller either retires or can't stay healthy. Yeah, I drafted a little bit of Daniel Bellinger in the pre-draft stuff. No idea what they think of Daniel Bellinger there, but yeah, Theo Johnson looks and he's got the stack there with Daniel Jones. Looks like a good team there. Who else does he have a quarterback? Daniel Jones and Dak Prescott with CeeDee Lamb. So yeah, he looks like he knows what he's doing, taking a lot of and he's got neighbors in that stack. So he really did a good job, I think, stacking like his top pass catchers with his quarterbacks too. So yeah, that looks like a good fun team also. I am going to jump into another draft. So hopefully you guys are able to join me in this one. I know Paul was hoping to join this one. So I will go jump on it now. Going in, jumping in. So if you want to jump in now, go ahead. Three, two, one. All right, good. We're only halfway filled. So if anybody wants to join, looks like you've got some time. Over under August 22nd. Fill date for Best Ball Mania 5. What do you guys think? That's my brother's birthday, so I'll remember. I'll remember what I said. August 22nd, over under for the Best Ball Mania 5 fill date. What do you guys think of the new structure here for Best Ball Mania 5? Honestly, I was a little bit disappointed to see them do away with the in-season stuff. I thought it was fun, even if it isn't like the easiest to draft for as far as like, drafting sharply for, you want to correlate for the playoffs, you want to really peak in the playoffs, and then they throw in a wrinkle that's, not meant for correlation. I still just thought it was really fun. So I was kind of bummed to see that go. Um, I think that this format is clearly way more fun for anybody who makes the finals. Like so many people, if you make the final, like you've got pretty decent shot at making a good amount of money and your floor is much higher than it was last year. So in a lot of ways, I really love the new format, but I was sad to see the regular season prizes go away. That's my only real complaint. All right, everybody's taking the over here. You're probably right. 1.5 million, not as sexy as 3 million. Yep. Seems like we're generally in the minority. Most people were okay with doing away with it just for the flatter payout structure. So, it's still I like the context they put out there. I just it's hard to take that away after you've given us the regular season format. I think Underdog I'm kind of guessing here, but just based on I listened to the Best Ball After Dark with Numi. Was on Pete Overz's channel, and he was just telling Pete don't get too invested. He was actually I think encouraged Pete to not promise to do 150 stream Best Ball Mania drafts because they have so much else coming out. My guess is they're going to do the same kind of cumulative format that Drafters does. So I think Underdog is going to have something similar to the main Drafters contest. Who knows? I could be totally wrong about that, but I don't know. It was just fun to like if you accidentally draft a killer regular season team, it was fun to have something to cheer for in that scenario with the Best Ball Mania. So I trusted them to give us a lot of fun contests, but it was fun to kind of have that component, in my opinion, for Best Ball Mania also. So I was a little bit disappointed, but at the end of the day, this is great payout structure. All right, what are we doing here? Garrett Wilson goes a little bit earlier than expected. Yeah, six figures for the top 20 is pretty damn good. All right, we are on the board. Puka goes. I do like Drake London here. I think London and Marvin Harrison would be kind of fun. I just do that. Could go Gibbs. See, this is where, like, do I just take the ADP value with Gibbs? Uh, I'm gonna do the fun thing. I'm gonna do the most fun thing that I can do and take Drake London and Marvin Harrison. They just like the new scenarios, like they're sexy names to click right now. Don't want those washed up, second year running back. Who wants to draft a running back in a timeshare? That's not fun. No, that's a good pick for Paul, I think. I thought about doing the Gibbs thing and then going Gibbs Laporta on the comeback. I think is probably going to be an option sometimes. Nice pick there, Paul. Yeah. This is kind of my take also. I think that it was too many people who are way too invested in the week 17, just like wanting that to be the thing. And I think that those are the people with the loudest voices, the content creators, really want to push that narrative, and I think they listen to that. But at the end of the day, we'll take the six figures for the top 20. Interesting, Paul. So you didn't like that it was 10,000. I kind of liked it. I kind of liked the way it was in that respect. I think that if I had been able to choose the perfect payout structure for me, we would have kept the top 10,000 leaderboard, and maybe just reduced the payout for just advancing in the regular season. So rather than getting $25 back or whatever it is, like reduce that down to $15 for like the min cash, just getting to the next round, and then add in more money to the final there, something like that. But I don't know. I think they did a good job. It's a tough situation. You can't please everybody. Ultimately, I think they did a good job with the format. I like the flatter payout structure. And again, I have full confidence in the team that they're going to put out other fun contests. So I liked having it. Not the end of the world that they're mixing it up. All right, so we're coming back around. We'll have at the turn 36-37. I think it's a more fun turn than the 2-3 turn in general. Who did the Lions draft in the fourth? I don't think I noticed that. Yeah, sorry, Paul. But now you can do what I was thinking about doing with Gibbs and Laporta if you wanted to. That would have been an interesting breakdown. Correlation between regular season leaderboard and finals. I would guess not that high of a correlation. Maybe because I don't remember how Mostert did in the playoffs. So that would be a big factor. Like how did the player or like Nico Collins, how did they do in the playoffs? The guys who absolutely killed the regular season. But you're also competing in like, if they're a third of the teams that have, I guess it was Tyreek Hill and Christian McCaffrey. Those were like, and Mostert. I can't remember exactly what it was, but like a third of the teams in your group are going to have them, and then only 1 out of 12 advance from the first round or whatever. So it's going to be a lot of those teams fall off. Yeah, it'd be interesting to find out. All right, coming around to my turn. Man, Devontae Smith, he's been I know he went pretty early in the last draft. I was hoping that he would fall to me at the turn. I could do my double tap with Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts there. I think he's been rising up though. It's interesting. Laporta goes, so Paul is not going to be able to do the Detroit double stack there if you were thinking about doing that. All right, let's see. ADP would be Pittman, Derrick Henry. Paul goes T. Higgins. I like it. A little bit off the board. Do I want to go Pittman here? What's my rank? Not going Hurts without the stack. You know what? I'm going to do, probably not going to get a ton of this. I'm going to do Lamar with Derrick Henry here. This is probably gonna be an ugly team now that I only have 2 receivers through 4 rounds. But, I'm trying a thing. You gotta try try some things. I'm doing 150 of these things on stream, so, gotta occasionally take some risks. Ooh, Paul goes with Trey McBride. That lowers the odds, I think, of me getting Mark Andrews to fall back to me. The fact that McBride goes early. The hope is that, you get a lot of people who don't really who like other tight ends better than the one you want, and then you get your guy to fall. But the earlier they go, the less likely it is that the guy you want actually falls back to you. All right, let's see here. Yeah, that's fair. That is the downside of the regular season payouts. Sammy Velaki for the Lions. Interesting. Special teams guy. Okay. Oh, he's the guy who was the defensive back slash running back. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, Jim. But I don't know. It really depends on how they did in the playoffs. I think because you might just have a ton of. Oh, I guess yeah. Never mind. We're thinking not just the players, but the full lineups that are just full of chalk there. Yeah, there's probably some negative correlation there. A safety they're turning into a running back. That's cool. Good for him. But yeah, I think I agree with Paul here. I don't think he's taken snaps. Ryan, I just announced today on Twitter that it is BP Colonia, one of the best young players in the world. I mean, one of the best players in the world who also happens to be young. But yeah, one of the best DFS players in the world. I don't actually know if he does any best ball or just DFS. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to have BP on. Throw this on here. All right. Andrews and Flowers both go ahead of ADP. So I'm stuck with just Lamar with Derrick Henry, which again they're correlated for the season. If the Ravens just crush, going to be in a good spot, but also like single game correlation for the playoffs, not ideal. So I don't know. Hopefully they trade who has huge games, but also now I'm playing against Lamar teams that are correlated. So I don't know. It's tough. Probably not the best risk I took here. I was able to do it successfully in the pre-draft stuff a good amount because people just I think Mark Andrews. A lot of people don't see Andrews as a sexy name, so depending on what room you're in, sometimes you can get them to fall to pick 60. And even same thing with Flowers to some extent. It's funny. I think I like Andrews better than Flowers. I just think he's like for the positional scarcity. I think he's the better pick than Flowers, but Flowers ranked higher everywhere, higher in ADP. So usually I do it hoping that Andrews is actually the one who's going to fall to me. Get those onesie positions elite with Lamar and Andrews. I thought about doing the Lamar Andrews turn at the 3-4. Like I think that you could. There's nothing no reason you can't just do Lamar Andrews there if you don't like what else is available. But I don't know. Decided I wanted to push it with Derrick Henry there. Yeah, BP every sport, man. He's a crusher. Yeah, honestly, I think the Wolves match up pretty well with Denver in general. Like they play Denver really tough. Um, so Denver clearly a better team. Like they should win, but man, I think the Wolves have a shot. I think they have a shot. I don't know what happened, how bad the injury was with Kristaps tonight. It's obviously not what you want to see, but Kristaps getting hurt. I don't know. It's more of an opening for the Wolves. Not getting too excited just yet. I think it's obviously a very very long shot that they get through Denver to begin with, but I wasn't that confident they were going to beat the Suns. That was kind of the worst. Felt like it was the worst case first round matchup for a 3 seed was to have to face the Suns fully healthy. And they got through that just fine. So that was exciting. I like Pitts. I think I'm going to go Pitts Pacheco. Ooh, I only have 2 receivers though. Can I really do this? This is going to be an ugly team if I do that, isn't it? Oh, no, I don't have a tight end already. I did not get Andrews. Let me think this through. I'm going to go Pacheco. I'll go Brian Thomas here. What do you guys think? This is going to be ugly. Only 2 receivers through 6 rounds. I'm putting myself in a position here. I am putting myself in a position. It's probably not a good position. We'll see what falls to me. Hopefully something falls to me. Kind of fun. It's a unique team, I think. But I probably shouldn't have done that. Oh, I do have the London Pits. So like that's could have skipped Pacheco and gone receiver there since I already made the bet on Henry. Yeah. Not ideal, but see if we can salvage it. Yeah, that is a nice thing. I can stop at 4 running backs with these 2. Probably doing less 4 running back teams this year just because they get hurt at such a higher clip than other positions that it's like 4 running back can feel really good when at the draft in week 1, and then by week 4 when 2 of those guys are hurt, doesn't feel as good. Yeah, exactly, Jim. This is the new thing this year. Nobody wants to talk about it, but just not drafting wide receivers is the way to go. We are going full T all the time. No wide receivers. Do you mean 3 wide receivers? Because we are not drafting wide receivers in the year 2024, 888. We are drafting all running backs. This is a T heavy room. Barely touched my beer so far. Anybody sipping on anything? Anything good? As I said, I'm drinking the Milk Stout Nitro. I like it. More of a winter beer for me than a summer beer. It's all right now. It's kind of a cold day in Minnesota. As I said, I do have my first softball game of the season tomorrow. It's supposed to be a little bit nicer, so really excited about that. Really excited to not have to worry about balancing the softball with the Timberwolves. Because again, the Timberwolves swept the Suns. Not sure if you guys heard. Now, what I'm not going to do here, I'm so tempted, but I'm not going to do it. You should actually do it. I was inverted. Please, please take Kyler Murray because otherwise I've got Marvin Harrison. Don't tempt me. I might do it. If you leave him for me, I might do it. Just want you to know that. It could happen. Son of a bitch. All right. What do I do here? They want me to take Lockett. I mean, they don't care what I do, but they have him ranked pretty highly. All right. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Lockett. He challenged me. Paul thought Neil's not going to take Kyler Murray here. He's already got Lamar Murray. He only has 2 wide receivers. He challenged me. I don't think I can do it. Do I go running back though? Again, a third running back. I think I like Jalen. I took Najee last time. I'm not taking Josh Palmer here. Tell you that much. Yeah, you're welcome, Paul. I think Jamal Murray is playing tonight though, so like he's injured, but not that bad. I think. I should have done. I should have just done it. Should have taken him just to punish Paul. But that's tough. Yeah, this is probably not my best team. We'll see. But sometimes the teams you think are not your best teams look really good when you get to the playoffs. I did some double elite quarterback teams last year that probably didn't feel that good during the draft, and then they made it to the playoffs, and I felt awesome having double elite quarterback in the playoffs. So who knows? Maybe this team ends up feeling better during the season than it does now. Oh, that's true. That is a good point. Yeah, it's actually I was thinking about that. So that was smart, Paul. That was a smart decision there. Exactly. You just need two of them to be this year's Puka Nacua. If two of my 7 rookie wide receivers become this year's Puka Nacua, I'm all set. Who needs a bunch of receivers when you've got two this year's Puka Nacuas? All right, I've got Seattle to fall back on. Gino. Yeah. Okay. Apparently the field feels the same way I do about Adonai Mitchell ending up with the Colts. I am in a spot here. You push the receivers, you hope that the receivers will fall to you, and they did not. I also don't hate the idea of just taking Love. I said this on the first draft, I think. Dontavian Wicks is the fourth receiver off the board, but I think he's different than your classic wide receiver 4 in that it's not very clear that he's actually the fourth receiver on the Packers. I'm not convinced that they actually like all three of the other receivers better than they like Dontavian Wicks and Watson, Dobbs, and who's the four? Oh, Jaden Reed. I'm not even I think there's a non-zero chance that Dontavian Wicks gets a similar workload to Jaden Reed this year. I think, Jaden Reed clearly the favorite to get more work there, but non-zero chance. So I don't hate just waiting on Dontavian Wicks. I was kind of hoping that Cortland Sutton was going to fall to me. If he had fallen to me, I would have had another backdoor opportunity to take a late Bo Nix. Sadly, not so lucky. Yeah, agreed. It's possible I just need to start. All right, I think I need to just start reaching on some wide receivers here. I could go Jacoby Myers. I could still take Troy Franklin, Denver. Still have that backdoor stack option. All right, I think I'm going Jacoby Myers. Huh. Do I go? No, I don't go Gabe Davis. Don't think I can do it. Screw it. Let's do it, Troy. I knew someone would have an opinion if I didn't look at chat. If I had looked at chat, I would have seen. I thought about Shakir. I don't know. I'm not convinced he's that good. I don't think they want him to be more than a wide receiver 3. Maybe it's still worth taking the shot though there. Since I am wide receiver needy, he probably has enough upside that maybe it would have made some sense. I think you're probably right, Archie. But even last year, Reed wasn't getting a wide receiver 1 workload. At least this is again. I need to dive into the data a little bit more than I have, but to the extent that I remember from the end of last season, when I was diving into the data, I don't think Reed was getting the workload you expect from wide receiver 1. I think it was, his route share wasn't up there. His target share was kind of up and down. Trevor Lawrence goes. All right, that's something I was thinking about doing, taking Gabe Davis there, but glad I didn't. Feel really strong about the running backs. Obviously, feel good about Lamar as my QB1. Kyle Pitts is a fine tight end one, I think. The wide receiver is not pretty. Yeah, glad we're on the same page. That's kind of what I was thinking. Like Troy Franklin, if he like I drafted a lot of him pre-draft. I've heard some really good things. I think he's the kind of guy who like he's just a good receiver. Again, just from what I've heard, it sounds like he's the kind of guy who's a good receiver who doesn't have those like crazy good metrics. Like the combine was really bad to him. But sometimes those are the guys you want to bet on. The guys that are just like, everybody drools over the, 6'5" fast guy who just crushes the combine. Then at the end of the day, what you really want is a guy who runs really solid routes, just a solid receiver. It's a skill game. So I don't hate Troy Franklin there. I took Caleb Williams at like pick 100 last time. It's a nice fall there. He's got Keenan Allen already. And he set up the Chicago stack, pushed it after pick 116. Gets Caleb Williams to fall to him at 125. That is it's a nice play there by MPV for MVP. I would not have made that risk for Austin Eckler. I don't think it was worth it. But again, that's a personal opinion thing. I don't think Austin Eckler is that great. I would have just taken Caleb there, but worked out for him. So can't fault the guy. Nice job. Yeah, I would have liked Rashid Shaheed to fall to me. I was really hoping he would fall to me on the next turn. One pick away. I feel confident Paul is not going to take my guy. At least I think. I guess I haven't looked at his team that closely. Yeah, he did not take my guy. Kirk Cousins, I kind of need to take him here. I've got the double stack, so I can just close my quarterbacks now because I've got Pitts and Drake London. I think it makes sense. And then who do I take for wide receiver? I guess I could take Judy. They did pay Judy a bit, right? So got to go Cousins. I think Judy makes sense here. What do you guys think? Is Keon Coleman still there? He's not still there, is he? I'm sure he went pretty early, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. I think Judy is a fine pick. 3-year, $58 million. I think that's that up to, which means it's not actually $58 million, but still. Got some upside there. It's not the worst team. Not my favorite team, but it's not the worst team either. It's got a little pop at each position. I think Lamar and Kirk, I think that's, pretty solid pairing at quarterback. Henry, Pacheco, Warren, 3 top 85 picks spent on running backs. I liked them all where they went. They all fell a little bit past ADP. So I think that's a good top 3 running backs. As Paul said, the top 2, great wide receivers. Drake London, Marvin Harrison certainly could be great this year. And then you just need a couple hits among the rest of your guys. So, and then Kyle Pitts, again, feel like it's a better situation this year for Kyle Pitts. So I like that pick. Feeling good. Jim, you're a Jerry Judy guy. Interesting. I just trust Steve Smith too much. Trust the analysis. He's just a guy. But yeah, I think after the trade, after they gave him a lot of money, I kind of feel I don't have a ton of Jerry Judy. I like him where he's going now. I think he's a fine solid pick at ADP. Not something I'm going out of my way for necessarily, but certainly a solid pick at ADP. Oh, Keon Coleman is showing it 138. Yeah, I think they just haven't updated their ADP yet. Because I have to imagine whoever takes Josh Allen is just taking Keon Coleman all the time. I don't think I even saw Xavier Worthy in this one. Where'd he go? The last time I had the opportunity to take him at a reasonable pick, and then he went at 67, which is fine. 6th round. I guess that's right around where I was thinking about taking him last time. And he has, at least in this draft, he flippened Brian Thomas, which it's interesting. Those two, it's a toss up for me. I think they're both. It's pretty even in my opinion. What do you guys think? Who would you rather have? Brian Thomas, Xavier Worthy. Do I know how to do? Let me see. I don't think I know how to do polls. Otherwise, I would. Yeah, I don't see anything in the controls. I'm sure it's possible. Maybe I need to be actually in YouTube. Let's see. Yeah, don't know how to do it. Oh well. Let's see. Oh, Coleman. Yeah, Coleman goes at 81. That seems like a fair spot for Keon Coleman in Buffalo. A little bit hefty, but like if I ever have Josh Allen, I'm probably reaching for him around there. Probably not somebody I'm going out of my way for if I don't have Josh Allen there, but maybe he might be the wide receiver one. So maybe he's just worth it there. Steve Smith is emotional. Steve Smith has some takes for sure. What was that? I just watched something. Steve Coleman had a kind of a hot take on somebody. I'm trying to remember who it was now. One of the rookies, I think. One of the rookies that was drafted. It's kind of a hot take. I think Shakir, Curtis, Samuel, Kincaid, all better than Keon Coleman. Might be true. I think Keon Coleman is one of the more like divisive rookies this year. Like he was all over in terms of people's rankings of Keon Coleman. It was people either hated him or absolutely loved him, and I don't know. I'll probably just have some. That's how I play those hands. Worthy, I think it's probably a good pick. He's on the Chiefs. Yeah, good call, Paul. One highlight is all it would take. We all know how fast he is. You've probably heard by now. Fastest rookie in the history of the combine. Burton goes at 151. Is this the Burrow drafter? Not even the Burrow drafter. Just wanted to get his guy. Okay. I reached a little bit for Burton in the last one. So glad to see other people in on him here. Seems like a good landing spot for him in Cincinnati. Like there's decent chance T. Higgins gets traded, or he's just a wide receiver 3 on a very good offense. All right. Do I want Thielen? I probably don't want Thielen. Let me see. Bateman, likely. One of them will probably fall to me at the next one. So I could maybe push it. Do I go Freiermuth here? Maybe I just go Freiermuth. Man, Chuba. I have so much Chuba. Jonathan Brooks might also miss some time this year. Do I do the double tap with likely now just to get a stack. Yeah. All right. Done at tight end. Feel like the strong tight end room. Done at quarterback. Probably add 2 more running backs and then the rest receivers. It's probably the way I play this. Moving into the slot. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how they use. They clearly have a plan for Keon Coleman, or maybe they just really believe in the talent, but they spent a relatively high pick on him. He was like, was he the first pick of the second round? Right? Because they traded out of the last pick of the first round to the first pick of the second round, if I'm remembering right. Oh, so they actually went back to back. Wait, no, never mind. It was Xavier Worthy and Keon Coleman went back to back, if I'm remembering right. This is where it's risky. I have Rashad Bateman just sitting there, all starred up. People watching the stream, drafting with me. Gotta learn the tricks of the trade, streaming your drafts. Put yourself at risk. Darnell Mooney, interesting. I could have starred him up too, but I feel like I need the stack more with Lamar since I already have Drake London and Kyle Pitts. But I do have Isaiah Likely now, so getting Rashad Bateman not as much of a priority anyway, since I already do have at least a single stack, which can be plenty for the playoffs. Like if Mark Andrews is out in the playoffs, it's going to be wheels up for Isaiah Likely. So I think I'm feeling good. Feeling good about the stacks. Chuba goes at 166. I think that's a good pick. I think that is. I thought about taking him where I was. I think you could. There's still a decent chance that Chuba Hubbard is the RB1 early in the year, and there's no guarantee that Jonathan Brooks overtakes him. He is recovering from an ACL. Probably at some point, Jonathan Brooks overtakes him. They spent a lot. He was the first running back taken, I believe, in the second round, which earlier than I expected, even though it was later than like a running back has ever gone. Yeah. So he probably overtakes him, but I don't think it's guaranteed. Yeah, this is true. Like Coleman, you just assume they're going to be scoring touchdowns, right? Those touchdowns need to go somewhere. So I agree. That is a reason to take him. You probably just are going to get some touchdowns because the team's going to score. And yeah, Bateman, I felt good about Bateman. Like so, the rookie landing spots didn't go well for me at all, but I love that Bateman got paid because I am definitely in on Bateman this year. There was a little bit of a run. I kind of thought that Kirk might be taken from me because there was a run right around there. And now I guess there's a second run here going on. Yeah, Kyler, Herbert. Do you have a stack there with Herbert? Or do you have to backdoor your way? Oh, you got Palmer. You already backdoored it. Okay. Oh, you got Marshawn Lloyd at 134. Seems like a good pick. I've heard good things about Marshawn Lloyd. We feeling good about being able to draft Isaac Arendo now? I got him in some drafters drafts. I also got him in some rookie and sophomore drafts. So got some share of Isaac Arendo, but I think I like the landing spot, even though he's clearly got no path to like RB1B status. Like it's going to be McCaffrey's backfield, but he's got mega contingent upside. Oh, that's a good call. I forgot that they added Devontae Walker. Yeah, that's I think he's the guy that Sean Siegel was high on. If I think it was Siegel who was high on Tez Walker. Somebody was again. One of the people I listened to. So yeah, no pressure to get Bateman. Both Vidal and Dobbins there. Got Braylon Allen last time. I've heard rumors that Khalil Herbert could. Maybe it wasn't even a rumor. It was more like a suggestion of something that maybe should happen. Is like he goes to the Cowboys or something, which I think makes some sense. Um, I think I need to go. Maybe I'll go Vidal here. Just get him once before he rises too much, and then I'll just go Bateman. So now we're up to 2 quarterbacks, 4 running backs, 7 receivers, 3 tight ends. Got 2 more picks to make. So probably 1 more running back, 1 more receiver is like the most likely thing I go for, unless there's some crazy value that falls to me or something. I like that call on Tez Walker. Would have been just as good a pick as Bateman there, probably. Now we just need to remember to not get in any more drafts tonight. It's going to be the hard part. After we hang it up here, no more drafting. Anybody got any DFS? I haven't even looked at my DFS lineups tonight. I do know that I did not draft Al Horford, and I did draft Kristaps. So probably limited upside there. Yeah, my single entry team is actually in 9th place right now. But it has Kristaps just pulling it down, just killing me. Oh, that's good. That's a good point, Paul. I could do a big dog draft. Yeah, I am going to be doing some drafting off stream. It's just Best Ball Mania that I'm trying to stream all. Oh man, this is a sick lineup. My single entry: Jalen Williams, Flames; Derek White, Flames; Michael Porter Jr., not Flames, but he has 20 points at halftime at 6,600, pretty good. Kristaps just bringing it down, only 4.6% ownership. Got hurt mid game. JVal. Oh, so that's why I'm doing. Part of the reason I'm doing well, I went in on JVal tonight. I thought zig when everybody else zags, so I actually have like 35% JVal, something like that, and the field is really low on him. As Ingram, which is rough. Caleb Martin ended up doing okay, and then Austin Reeves, who's doing okay. So my single entry is looking pretty good. Love to see that JVal worked out. I thought the ownership seemed too low for a 3-game slate, a guy who has been good in at least 2 of the games this series. I was pretty surprised to see how low he was projected to go ownership-wise, and appears that that was actually the case. Let's see if it was the case in other contests. He is also only center eligible, so I kind of get it. But okay, he was 7% owned in the big one, so I think places I saw had him projected for 1% ownership, so or 1 to 3% ownership. So thought he was going to be lower than he was, and yeah, not quite as low owned as I was hoping he would be, but still good to see. JJ fallen. That's interesting. I guess his ADP is 190. I would have thought that JJ was going to be a big riser after the draft, after the landing spot with the Vikings, which a lot of us speculated before the draft was going to happen. But with Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson, it's a great landing spot if he plays. It's just a matter of there's a little bit of risk that he's just not going to be the quarterback right away. I see he just went. Quarterback 2, you got Trevor Lawrence there. I would probably want a third quarterback if this is my quarterback room just because of the risk, but I guess you got to take some risks, right? Oh, and he goes to the Justin Jefferson owners. That's a nice little, yeah, that was good. Good work there by a Buckaloo. Pushed the stack and got what he wanted. Will Shipley goes. All right, let's see. Zay Jones. Tez Walker goes. All right. Do I go estimate here? Let's see. Lob. Kind of like estimate here. And then is there any Baltimore or Atlanta player that I want at wide receiver? Is Rondale around somewhere? There he is. I could take Rondale. That's not the worst pick, right? If I go Rondale here, what do we think of that? All right, I'm doing it. Doing Rondale. And that'll do it. So we got Lamar Jackson and Kirk Cousins at quarterback. Feel really good about that. Derrick Henry, Isaiah Pacheco, Jalen Warren, Kimani Vidal, Audric Estime at running back. Feel really good about that. We got the 3 vets in good spots, and then we got 2 rookie upside picks. Drake London, Marvin Harrison, obviously loved the top 2, but then there's a huge drop. I didn't take another wide receiver until reaching for Tyler Lockett as my wide receiver 3 at pick 84. Doesn't feel great, but I feel like I at least somewhat recovered. I think Jacoby Myers, Troy Franklin, kind of feel okay about that. Jerry Jeudy, Rashad Bateman, Rondell Moore. I feel like there's enough upside in these picks, even though they're not the sexy rookie receiver. I think there's enough upside in these picks that I feel okay about that. And then tight end, Kyle Pitts, Pat Fryermuth, and the correlated Isaiah Likely. Yeah, I feel okay about this draft. Like nothing too great. It's not one of those drafts where I'm coming out of it feeling like I was pushing my stacks and getting everything I wanted. But at the end of the day, I think it's an okay draft. I think it worked out okay for me. Anything else you guys wanted to look at as far as your drafts go, as far as the rest of the board here? I know Paul was in the draft. Paul got Kyler with Trey McBride. He played the turn there. He knew that I wasn't going to take Kyler Murray, so he was able to take Christian Watson, push the Kyler Murray pick. That was well played by Paul. Who'd you take as your second quarterback? I guess you could have pushed for Bryce Young, who I think is one of those like pretty good team stack bets. But then you went with Justin Herbert with Josh Palmer. Did you go 0 RB? Oh, you went hero RB, Jahmyr Gibbs, and then a long break before Marshawn Lloyd, Kendra Miller, Ray Davis, Bucky Irving. Late Jacob Cowing. We want to talk about Ricky Pearsall. Jacob Cowing, also kind of fun late receiver. Brendan Rice, that's fun. Tanner McLaughlin. How many Cincinnati tight ends are there? What are we doing here? That's like the I haven't even heard of this guy. We don't go Eric All, we go McLaughlin. Tell me about him, Paul, if you're still around here. I've never even heard of this guy. Tanner McLaughlin. They got Hudson, they got Gesicki, they got Eric All, and now they got another tight end we need to be thinking about. What's going on? I don't know if Paul's still here. Who was the last comment? So maybe Paul is. Was that just an accidental pick, or is it? Do you know something that I don't? Any sauce for the 3-hole? All right, let's take a look at it. Gerardo DFS, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. Okay, we're starting strong with the Miami picks. We're not even trying to do the Tyreek Hill, Devon Achane. I guess it probably wasn't available to you. Yeah, he wasn't available to you. That's something that like you could almost do sometimes early on. But I like that. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle looks great. Josh Jacobs, yeah, strong starting running back. Rashi Rice, Rome Odunze, George Kittle as your first tight end, Chris Godwin, Trey Benson. I love the Trey. I don't have nearly enough Trey Benson. I think he's the guy that I need to move up my ranks because I just don't have a lot. And people talk about him like he is like the next big great running back. And I like the landing spot in Arizona. So I like that. You went double clicked the quarterback. So you got your guy Tua with your top 2 receivers. Jordan Love with. Did you add somebody later? Let's see here. Oh, you got Luke Musgrave there with your Jordan Love. I like that. Gus Edwards, strong pick. Julian McLaughlin, Chuba Hubbard, getting all the guys that I drafted a million times at higher picks. So nice job there. I guess Julian McLaughlin about where he was going in the pre-draft stuff. Able to draft Garendo, Jalen McMillan, added a third quarterback here with Jalen Hyatt backstack. Do you have another New York player or just that single stack? Yeah, that looks like a strong team to me. Can I see? Oh, if I go, let's see. If I go like this, I can see your team. 3 quarterback. I think that's fine. Going 3 quarterback there. Running back. Yeah, you went hero RB. I guess you would call this. Josh Jacobs, and then the break for Trey Benson, Gus Edwards. I still think you end up with a pretty decent running back room, even though you pushed it. Love the Hill and Waddle. Just betting on the Miami offense. Rashee Rice, as long as he doesn't miss much time, will look good. Rome Odunze looks good. I mean, this is a little bit earlier than I would like Odunze in general as a RB as a wide receiver 3 in Chicago. But again, Keenan Allen could certainly get hurt, or maybe he's just he's a good receiver, so I don't hate it. Godwin, this is the price is right there for sure. McMillan and Hylett rounded out looks good, and then you got the George Kittle tight end 1. You don't need more than 2 tight ends. You get Luke Musgrave as your correlated tight end pick. Yeah, that looks like a very strong team to me. Daniel Jeremiah has him as his tight end 3 in the draft. There's so much you need to know about these rookies. Every year, it's like you think you've heard about all the rookies, at least to some extent, and then somebody else jumps in late. Interesting. Good RAS score. Okay. I am not going to do a third draft tonight. I might do a draft tomorrow afternoon. I'll have to look at my schedule. I'm not available tomorrow night. So if I do a draft tomorrow, it would probably be at 3 Eastern, 2 Central. I think that's going to be, these are kind of be my regular times. Most likely is going to be 2 Central / 3 Eastern and or 8 Central, 9 Eastern is going to be my usual times for these streams. Just generally they work best for my schedule. So that's kind of my plan. Might see you guys tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central. If you are around, come hang out, hop in the draft with me. Should be a good time. If you haven't liked the video, please do like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Would appreciate it. And again, if you have any interest in checking out the Fantasy Points data suite, you can use promo code Flannel to get 15% off any package at Fantasy Points. It's a great deal, and I've been told that you're not going to find a better deal for Fantasy Points anywhere else. They told me that the deal, the 15% off that I'm getting is not going to be. You're not going to find a better deal anywhere else. So if you're interested, check it out. Promo code Flannel. Thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. That was a lot of fun. Looking forward to 148 more Best Ball Mania drafts with you. Check you on the next one.